The further you drive up Highway 128 through the Anderson Valley, the more remote and isolated it gets. Take the little town of Boonville, for instance. It's so isolated, they speak their own language.
So I grabbed the beecham tree and put it on him and climbed aboard and then went cloppity down the drapeway just a slip. And wouldn't you know, there's a big old blue tail right in their track.
That may seem like a nonsensical sentence of gibberish, but it's actually a language unique to Boonville called Boontling, and just a handful of people in the world can speak it fluently.
Well, he got on his horse, and then he took off, and he was going in a nice little lope, and he runs into a rattlesnake.
Wes Smoot and Rod DeWitt are among the few booners, as they're called, that can still hold a conversation in Boontling, or as they say, harp on each other. So when a bright lighter, or city folk like me, comes into town, they love to open up the Anderson Valley Museum and explain the origins of their babble.
The Scots-Irish, the Appalachian folks that came out with the Anderson Party in that first wave, I had a propensity for coming up with lingos.
Boonville's past is as odd as the language. In the early 1850s, the Anderson Valley held many surprises for the early sheep herders and apple farmers that settled here. What is this thing here?
It's a grizzly bear trap for grizzlies.
A grizzly bear trap?
Yeah.
Besides the giant grizzly bear problem, the town was oddly named after store owner and frontiersman W.W. Boone, the second cousin of Daniel Boone.
But you got to remember that everybody out here was really isolated, and so it'd be natural for them to kind of create their own language.
Now, if you ask some people in town, they'll say the language was created so locals could secretly gossip about out-of-towners, while others think that Boontling was just slang word talk that was based on a bastardization of everyday local events.
The milk hit the bucket, chill, churl, that's milking the cow. My rifle echoes across it, bar. That barrel is to shoot a rifle.
Well, if you're still confused, you're not alone. When CBS travel host Charles Kuralt first discovered Boonville in the 1970s, he was perplexed by the Boontling word for doctor.
Like a doctor is a shovel tooth.
A shovel tooth?
Yes, a shovel tooth. That was a doctor that had protruding front teeth.
Following that interview, Johnny Carson then invited another booner to his show and got a lot of laughs when he explained that burlapping is what happened when a customer walked in on a promiscuous feed store owner.
But when he went back there, they had one of the local girls up on top of one of them bales of sacks doing what they should do, you know. And he said, well, where'd you find him back there? Yeah, he said, they're back there burlapping.
These days, not too many locals know what shoveltooth or burlapping means. Locals no longer herd sheep or grow apples in this area, and the elementary school stopped teaching Boontling years ago.
It's just hard to find somebody to even talk to anymore.
Boontling may be a dying language, but it's not dead.
Oh man, I figured it would.
Much of the Boontling history is saved right here in the Anderson Valley Museum, and there's even a dictionary of the language for future booners to learn it.
Once you learn it, it's just like riding a bicycle. You never forget.
Well, as they say in Boonville, I'm John Bartell. We'll dig for you on the Japeway. Not entirely sure that's right.